Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Saturday. I lose track of the days these days with all the new releases. Saturday, October 29th, 2022. Good streaming day when it comes to the gameplay. The Level 1 podcast was relatively tame. Pretty normal podcast. Did not go overtime. We had, good amount of stuff to talk about, but everything went good today. Let's talk a little bit about it. So, I really feel like today was the first day that was like a normal day in a long time. Between my car breaking down, and having issues there, between my TV breaking, getting a new TV delivered. It was a chaotic week, to say the least. Today felt like a normal day, like back in line with normality of what you would expect on my streams, which was a good thing. Obviously, you want to have normality. Level 1 podcast was chill fun. I gave everyone an update on what's going on with me, talking to people about possibly being interviewed on the internet, among many other topics, some gaming news, updates on the schedule, and my thoughts on things like Modern Warfare 2 and the Resident Evil 8 DLC, which I had started yesterday. Some Q&A with the audience, some good stuff. It was a good podcast. I had a good time with it. The first gameplay stream today was Modern Warfare 2, and we did multiplayer again, because I really didn't feel like I did much yesterday. I played like two and a half hours. I didn't really feel like I got anywhere. Only using the M4, which is the starter weapon, and trying to unlock other weapons along its tree, because the way it works in this game is you have to start with a certain weapon and use it. Once you've used it enough and it levels up, you unlock the next weapon in that skill tree, pretty much. I don't know how they make up these skill trees, because to give you an example, the M4 is an assault rifle, full auto. Then you unlock the Icarus LMG. They're not even related. And then you unlock the M16, which is a variation of an assault rifle, very different from the M4. So, sure, they're all related according to the game. Right? But anyway, my goal today was to play more on some of the new maps and kind of learn them, but also to unlock new weapons. I did that. I did unlock the LMG Icarus, which I like. The thing was, again, with this game's progression system, it takes a long time to unlock the attachments. So it took me, no exaggeration, an hour and a half with this Icarus to finally get a scope. And the moment I got the scope for it, I was kicking ass. I was going on a tear. I was killing everyone with this thing, because I could actually zoom in and shoot them from a distance, which I couldn't do before I had the scope. So, I had fun, and it was a good time, and engagement was good, views were good, support was terrible. I don't know why. Yesterday, support was outstanding for Modern Warfare 2. And even if you say, oh, well, yesterday you had a $100 tip from one person, that is true, but even if I didn't have that, it still would have been decent yesterday. Today we had, again, like $30 in tips, and that was it. So, I don't know if people are just already tired of the multiplayer, or I really don't know. It's really weird, because it seems like any random day, any random stream can be any level of support, and it's hard to predict. Even when I'm doing a new release these days, it's hard to predict what's going to happen, Anyway, I still had fun. We made good progress, but collectively, by the end of that stream, everyone kind of agreed I should do the campaign tomorrow. People are like, yeah, you did multiplayer for 2 days now. Please start the campaign. We want to see it. So tomorrow, that is true. We're doing the campaign tomorrow, all right? The late stream tonight was the conclusion of the Resident Evil 8 Shadows of Rose DLC, and boy, am I glad. I always leave myself enough time to have extra time now, especially when it comes to these DLCs. Whenever someone's like, oh, it's a 3-hour DLC, I immediately say in my mind, it's 4 hours or more. Because, number one, I'm an interactive streamer, so talking with my audience and doing shout-outs and things like that takes time. Number two, I read all of the documents and all of the lore pieces aloud. Reading it aloud takes way extra time compared to just reading it to yourself when you're playing the game. So, if I hadn't done those things, probably would have been around 3 hours, but because I did, it was over 4 hours. I barely finished it tonight, okay? There's pros and cons to this DLC. Now that I've beaten it, I can tell you it's around 4 hours of gameplay. The story is interesting until you basically realize it's worthless. Without spoiling the story, when the DLC finishes, it replays the final cutscene of Resident Evil 8, saying that was the end of the timeline. All the DLC you did happened before then anyway. So if you beat Resident Evil 8, you already know where the plot ended, and all this was additional backstory, which is stupid. It makes it feel like you got cheated. Like, if people had known that, maybe they wouldn't even gotten the DLC, right? For me, there's things I like about it, there's things I don't. Obviously, I like the gameplay of Resident Evil 8. I liked having additional story snippets. There was a really cool way that this tied actually into Resident Evil 7, which I actually thought was the best part of the DLC. However, the gameplay just isn't that good. It's the same locations from Resident Evil 8. You've got Lady D's mansion, you've got the dollhouse. And even though the gameplay is different, it's still the same, meaning same locations, same gameplay elements. The only thing that's introduced in this DLC that's different is the psychic abilities or the special mold abilities of Rose, which aren't that special either. They're not anything to write home about. Oh, I froze an enemy. Big freaking deal, right? There's very limited enemies in this. It's all mold people. Like, literally every enemy is a mold person. And there's one boss mold person and a bunch of regular mold people that maybe look different, but they all act exactly the same. The other enemies aren't enemies. They just, it's like you have to avoid them. You can't even fight them. So it was disappointing, the gameplay elements. I was hoping this DLC was going to be kind of like Evil Within, knowing that you're going inside of the mold and it's not real. That's how they sold this DLC. You're not going back to the village, but you're going into a piece of mold that has remembrances of all the things that happened there. So Rose will encounter the horrors of the village. Great. Can you have something new or maybe something memorable? Not the same shit we already did. No, it's the same shit, just with different, shuffled puzzles or whatever. Even the the storyline that's in it isn't that good. I feel like I'm kind of disappointed that it was $20 for this DLC for 4 hours. I think it was overpriced. Especially because, again, the plot is not necessary. You can completely skip this DLC and still know the plot of Resident Evil 8 and how it ends. So, underwhelming. I am disappointed by it. I was hoping for something better, and it just wasn't that good in my opinion. I was hoping for, maybe a 5 to 6 hour DLC with new gameplay elements and great story, and we didn't get that. What we got was Resident Evil 8 add-on reshuffle. Not very good. So, enjoy the playthrough. I do my best to make it entertaining with my commentary and everything, but even me, I get frustrated at parts of it. I'm like, wow, this is just so boring, But there's actually one real boss and one ending boss, but the ending boss is piss easy. The real boss is kind of annoyingly designed. And what I would say is the most annoying part of it is that there's definitely parts of it you have to die. Like, there's no way to go through this and not die. Like, there's parts you need to die to know what to do to progress. So it's kind of trial and error. And, a lot of survival horror games are like that, but it is a little frustrating that certain parts you're like, okay, I ran. Oops, made a wrong turn. Instantly dead. Start the whole scene over. I ran. Oh, I made the right turn this time. I ran. Oops, made the wrong turn. Do the whole scene over again. Like, wait, no. I'm not on PS2. Really, I'm not on PS2. I don't have to play it like a PS2 game. Why is this happening? Anyway, I'm curious for your thoughts. When you watch the playthrough, if you do, leave comments and let me know what you think. Maybe you liked it more than I did. Maybe you didn't like it either. I don't know. Let me know. All right? Support was not bad on the late stream tonight. Probably more than double what we did yesterday, which is good. So overall, the day was not a terrible day. It just wasn't a good day. It just wasn't a bad day either. So at least it's a little better than yesterday. That's for sure. Yesterday was a freaking disaster day. I don't know why it was such a slow day in regards to, last night having a bad, Resident Evil stream. And then Modern Warfare 2 getting no support earlier today. So it was like 2 very slow streams, but at least Resident Evil did all right. Okay? So tomorrow, we're doing the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. Those of you who've been waiting for it, you can come on by on the main stream for that. We're going to start it up. I heard it's 5 hours long, so maybe we'll beat it within one stream and then maybe a night stream. I guess we'll see. And then tomorrow night is the conclusion, the finale of Sunday Night Bites. This is the final Bassmaster 2022 stream for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, the game's being removed from Game Pass for some odd reason, so we'd have to buy it if we wanted to, and digitally it's $40. That's way too expensive. You can buy the disc version for like $20 because it's cheap, because stores don't really get any sales on it. But the other thing, reason number 2 that we're retiring it, there's just no time for it right now. I have so many games that I'm backed up. I'm backed up on Plague Tale. I'm backed up on Gotham Knights. I'm going to be playing Modern Warfare 2 consistently, balanced with those for the next week and a half. Then within a week and a half, we've got God of War and Sonic Frontiers, so I need to make progress in these games, and that's my focus. So I am basically taking away all the chill streams at this point. So yeah, we are phasing out Bassmaster. Tomorrow's the finale on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. The final chance, if we hit the hat goal, to add another lure to the hat that will permanently stay on that hat, because that hat after tomorrow night will now be in the running to be worn whenever we hit a $100 tips goal on any stream. It'll be a hat selection. So you might see a fisherman's hat on a different game, okay? All right. For the rest of the week, Monday's the Halloween Marathon, which we'll talk about again tomorrow on the podcast. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm thinking Tuesday, the main stream will be Plague Tale Requiem, And then Tuesday night, we'll probably do more Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if it'll be the campaign and we finish it. And then Wednesday will probably be Gotham Knights on the mainstream. And then Wednesday night, probably more Modern Warfare 2. Maybe the end of the campaign of the multiplayer. Unless people are absolutely demanding Reverse. Reverse is the multiplayer mode that is now available for Resident Evil 8. It was supposed to come with the game when it launched a year and a half ago, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed again. It just came out this week. People are basically like, you play it once or twice for like an hour or two, it's all right, but it's nothing to write home about, and it doesn't not a lot of content yet. So maybe you guys don't want to see it. Let me know, because that'll help determine what I do for the rest of the week. Okay? That is it, guys. Please have a good night. Tomorrow I'm excited for another full streaming day. I am excited for the campaign of Modern Warfare 2. I've heard good things about it. And, of course, to send off Bassmaster, which has basically been a great summer playthrough, and now we get to see it off for the fall. Thank you all for a great streaming day today. I will see you all in the morning. Peace out.